Find newsrooms in Eugene, Roseburg, and Coos Bay. KVAL News at 11 starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Brisa Mendez. We have breaking news. One man was injured after a speaker fell on him following the Oregon State game at Research Stadium. Here's what we know right now. A police officer told us the man's leg was broken. Our crew saw him taken away from the scene on a stretcher. No word yet on his condition or what caused the speaker to fall. We are working to find out what happened. Today's high temperatures along the I-5, the low 80s, Roseburg 82 degrees, North Bend sitting in the low 70s, Gold Beach 68 degrees, Newport negative 35. Disregard that number as our sensors are still updating. Air quality conditions earlier this evening looking good along the I-5 and the coastal region. Over in Oak Ridge, sitting under that unhealthy for sensitive groups due to that wildfire smoke. Watches and warnings remain in effect for the east side of Lane County with that air quality warning lasting through Tuesday 11 a.m. Satellite and radar indicating that clear activity from the coast into the Cascades as a high pressure system continues to push in from the Pacific Ocean into western Oregon. Temperatures tonight dropping into the 60s and 50s with clear activity. Tomorrow's high temperatures projected to reach the low 80s and mid 70s. Temperatures around lunchtime for Eugene and Springfield in the low 70s. At Mercury will continue to increase into 84 degrees. Lane Regional Air Protection Agency is extending the air quality advisory for eastern Lane County. The southern Willamette Valley, including Eugene and Springfield, will see moderate to good air quality, but the Oak Ridge area is likely to vary between unhealthy for sensitive groups to hazardous on the air quality index. Young children, the elderly, and people with heart or lung problems are especially vulnerable. Travis Knudsen with El Rapa Public Affairs tells us how fast things can change.
So there will be fluctuating air quality in Oak Ridge and West First. There will be hours where air quality may even be good on the air quality index. And then it's possible that in as short a time as a half hour to an hour, the air quality could go from good to unhealthy, very unhealthy, or even hazardous. And that has to do with how close the community is to the fire and whatever particular prevailing winds are doing at that time.
El Rapa recommends Oak Ridge and West for residents to close their doors and windows. They also recommend running an air purifier to protect indoor air quality. Big games for both Ducks and Beavers today. Although they lost, Oregon State were in a gritty battle with the USC Trojans. The Beavers kept their hopes alive to the last minute until a pick sealed the deal for USC. The final score was 17-14 at Research Stadium. After dominating BYU at home, the Oregon Ducks traveled up north to face Washington State Cougars. It was an electric finish as the Ducks seemed like they were out of the game going into the fourth quarter, but the Ducks went on to score 21 points in the last 3 minutes of the game. With the final score 44-41, we will recap both games coming up in sports. 5 figures for Ukraine, that's how much was raised at an outdoor benefit concert tonight, exceeding the donation goal. Tucker Conlu joins us in the studio with more.
Thanks, Brisa. Several performing groups came together today to help raise money for medical supplies. Songs for Ukraine was held at the Community of Christ Church, with donations going directly to the Ukrainian Foundation, a Ukrainian-led nonprofit funneling medical supplies and other humanitarian relief. The event is hosted by the Eugene Gleemen, who are among many groups performing, but one of the volunteers who helped host the event was Dr. Tanya Bucherka. Bucherka specializes in emergency medicine and is a second-generation Ukrainian.
There's just people that medical needs, just supplies for the military. They need everything. Any donation is helpful.
Bucherka will be leaving for Ukraine tomorrow, her third trip there. According to event organizer Ron Rains, Songs for Ukraine surpassed their $10,000 goal, raising $16,000. That's 6 figures. But even if you couldn't make it to the event, donations can still be made online. And on October 15th, another benefit concert will be hosted by the Nonstop Players, a young adult musical theater group. Links for more information or to make donations can be found on our website.
Thank you, Tucker. After record high gas prices over the summer, Congress members from both sides clashed on how to deal with oil production. National correspondent Kayla Gaskin reports.
Representative Rashida Tlaib from Michigan asking a panel of banking executives about their company policies for funding the oil and gas industry. She didn't appear happy with some of the answers. The leaders of America's top banks sitting before Congress Wednesday. Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, a Democrat from Michigan, telling the panel the only way to reach climate goals in the coming decades is to stop all new fossil fuel production. Tlaib posing this to JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon.
Please answer with a simple yes or no. Does your bank have a policy against funding new oil and gas products? Mr. Dimon.
Absolutely not, and that would be the road to hell for America.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Sir, you know what? Everybody that got relief from student loans has a bank account with your bank should probably take out their account and close their account.
Dimon voiced disapproval for President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan earlier in the meeting. Other CEOs taking a softer tone, but did not agree to stop funding new oil and gas. Tlaib's pressure on banks coming as gas prices risk rising again. Energy experts have pointed out pulling away from fossil fuels too soon risks America's energy security, causing fears of black or brownouts on the hottest days this past summer.
As we've lost baseload generation, coal plants and gas plants, we have no renewable energy to backfill it, and therefore we don't have enough capacity. So rates are increasing and the potential with rolling brownouts.
The lack of fossil fuels fueling an energy crisis in Europe. Countries cut back on their own production, causing them to lean heavily on Russia. And as Russia's war with Ukraine drags on, Europe's scrambling to have enough energy at attainable consumer prices to get through this winter. President Biden sending more natural gas to Europe to offset decline in Russian supplies. U.S. gas companies requesting permits to build new pipelines for the task. I'm Kayla Gaskins reporting.
Members of Congress will continue to discuss how to deal with oil production and hopefully reach a deal that can lower gas prices for Americans. Hurricane Fiona is hitting Canada. Coming up, what we know about another tropical storm headed towards the U.S.
This is KVAL News at 11.
Hurricane Fiona is now causing massive damage to communities along Canada's Atlantic coast, knocking out power to many homes. This comes as Tropical Storm Ian gains strength in the Caribbean on course towards Florida. David Daniel has the latest.
We want to see Nova Scotians get through this.
This is just some of the damage Fiona brought to Nova Scotia after making landfall early Saturday morning. You can see trees ripped from the ground. Packing hurricane-force winds, the storm knocked out power to hundreds of thousands of Canadians in what's being called a landmark weather event. This is video from Port-aux-Basques in Newfoundland, where the storm destroyed homes along the coast and flooding inundated streets in Prince Edward Island. The mayor of Port-aux-Basques issued a warning to curious residents on Facebook.
There are too many people on our streets traveling around, taking pictures and just out trying to see what's going on. We have telephone poles that are falling in around the community, that are falling down. There are live wires on some of these poles. We do not need people out just cruising around the streets. We need you to stay home.
Fiona made landfall in Puerto Rico as a Category 1 storm last Sunday, causing extensive damage and widespread flooding. It left at least 5 people dead as it battered the Caribbean before it reached Canada's eastern coast as a post-tropical cyclone. Now concern grows over Tropical Storm Ian. It formed late Friday in the Caribbean, and it's expected to strengthen into a hurricane before hitting Florida.
This area of the Northwest Caribbean is very conducive for strengthening. Very, very warm ocean.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is warning residents to remain vigilant and expanded a state of emergency from 24 counties to the entire state. I'm David Daniel reporting.
The storm is forecast to make landfall Wednesday night near Tampa. Coming up next in my extended forecast, tracking the latest system moving into western Oregon with foggy conditions tomorrow morning. Those full details coming up next after this quick break. across North Bend with that sunrise across the horizon. Waking up tomorrow morning, expect dense fog with low visibility along the coastal region. Now we're officially into our first weekend of fall season with this beautiful photo of that color changing across the Willamette Valley. You too can send in your fall photos or videos by scanning that QR code on your screen or submitting at kval.com/chime-in. So far, our fall colors across western Oregon, we're looking at about 20% transition color maple, ash, cottonwood trees. Ash trees already at 50 to 75% transition. More rainfall is expected heading into the month of October and November. Today's high temperatures reaching the 80s along the I-5 Roseburg, 82 degrees. North Bend sitting in the low 70s. Gold Beach 68. Our satellite and radar indicating that clear activity from the Cascades into the coastal region, all due to this high pressure system still sitting across the Pacific Northwest, which is the reason why we can expect temperatures slightly above average for first weekend of this fall season. Now I am tracking this low pressure system and this cold front slowly pushing in from the Pacific Ocean back into western Oregon. This will bring in those cooler temperatures dropping into the 70s across the valley floor with rainfall returning into midweek on Wednesday, heading into Thursday. Waking up tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., do expect that patchy fog along the coastal region, including Coos Bay with low visibility. Heading into the evening hours, 6 p.m., clear activity across western Oregon with beautiful sunny skies. Our drought conditions for the east side of the region still remaining under extreme, including Klamath County, Lakeview, and Bend. Douglas County under moderate and severe. Our fire weather outlook for today, not elevated, critical, or extreme along the I-5 or the coastal region. Air quality conditions earlier this evening looking good along the I-5 and the coastline. Oak Ridge still sitting under unhealthy for sensitive groups. Temperatures waking up tomorrow morning in the 50s. Roseburg 56 degrees. Heading into the evening hours along the coastal region, the 60s. Florence 68 degrees along the I-5 projected to reach the 80s. Grants Pass 93 degrees. Roseburg 86. Temperatures waking up tomorrow morning across Eugene and Springfield in the low 50s with partly sunny conditions. Heading into lunchtime, that mercury increasing into the low 70s. As we proceed into the evening hours, 5 p.m. projected to reach 84 degrees. As our normal temperature for this fall season is now 76. Temperatures remaining above average Sunday through Tuesday. We do drop into the 70s heading into Wednesday with 40% chances of rainfall as that cold front and low pressure system continues to push across western Oregon. Heading into Friday, 75 degrees. Coos Bay looking at that patchy fog Sunday and Monday, heading into the overnight hours, dropping into the 50s. Roseburg looking at hot temperatures on Monday, 90 degrees as our normal temperature for this fall season is now 78. We do see temperatures dropping into the 70s heading into midweek on Wednesday. By Thursday, 75 degrees, 20% chances of scattered showers heading into Saturday, overnight dropping into the 50s. Moving on to sports, Ronald Clark joins us in the studio with the latest in sports. Ronald, what's new tonight?
A crazy day in football, that is college football. Pac-12 conference play starting out for the Ducks and the Beavers was a wild one in Pullman for